What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm on Talks of Gaming. Today we're going to be going over my Water Dragon Chemistry in the Motion deck profile app. This is a deck coming straight out of the Midterm Paradox box, coming out October 6th. This is going to be a Niagara banless version of that deck. And as always, if you have any recommendations for the deck idea I'm bringing to you, leave it in the comment section down below. Love to hear from you guys. Love to see what kind of cool ideas you come up with for yourself, especially for a deck like this. Chemistry in Motion is a really neat skill, but it's also weird. It's one of the weirdest skills I've read that has come to speed duels in general, but I feel like this is a skill that we shouldn't be overlooking, right? Because it's helping you bring out one of the probably strongest boss monsters to ever come to speed duels. So Chemistry in Motion has this ability that says once per turn, you can place a counter on this card, then apply the appropriate effect depending on the number of counters on this card. This is mandatory, meaning the second you put a counter on this, you have to activate the effect. If you can't activate the effect, you can't put a counter on it. Number one is discard one dinosaur monster, then add one dinosaur monster with a different attribute from your hand or from your deck to your hand. So you discard a water, add a wind. Pretty simple. Normal summon one wind or water dinosaur monster from your hand. This is an additional normal summon, meaning if you have already summoned out a Hydrogeddon, you can summon out an Oxygeddon. Pretty simple. Normal summon, we already did that one. The names of all water dinosaur monsters you control become Hydrogeddon until the end of this turn. Then add one bonding H2O from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Because of this, we have to play bonding H2O in our deck, and that just kind of makes it to where, if we don't play this brick card, then we can't use this skill. But it's okay. And then lastly is remove all counters from this card, then change the attributes and types of all monsters your opponent controls to fire, pyro until the end of this turn. It's a pretty powerful effect. Pretty good in my opinion. Now to go over this, we are playing three of the strongest cards in speed duels, in my opinion, being Water Dragon Cluster. This card is an insane boss monster, again, probably one of our strongest ones to come to the game to date, and it does a lot, dude. It does a lot. So the first thing that you need to know about this card is you can't summon it unless you're using the effect of a bonding spell or trap card. Once it's special summoned, you can activate this effect. Remind you, this is a you can, so you don't have to. Effect monsters your opponent currently controls cannot activate their effects for the rest of this turn. Also, change their attack to 0 until the end of this turn. So it summons, negates all effects, and then changes every monster to 0 your opponent controls. That's pretty strong. Not only that, it has a quick effect tag effect that says quick effect. Tribute this card. Special summon 2 Water Dragon from your hand and or deck in defense position, ignoring their summoning conditions. So you can tag this card out as a quick effect. So say it gets equipped with Parasite Paranoid, you tag it, and then you summon out 2 Water Dragon from your hand and or deck, and they come to the field in defense mode. Now Water Dragon has a really unique effect that says that fire pyro monsters on the field's attack becomes 0. So that goes in conjunction with Chemistry in Motion, being that the number 4 counter says that fire monsters or all monsters your opponent controls become fire pyro. So that works really well. And God forbid that you go against the volcanic player, because they just suck against this card. Duo Tyrion. This card is being played as 3 in this deck. I feel like you really do need to play 3 pieces or 3 each of every piece in this deck, because if not, the deck is inconsistent. More inconsistent than it already is, in my opinion. So the first effect says you can discard this card, add a bonding spell trap from your deck to your hand. That's really, really good. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target a Hydrogeddon, Oxygeddon, or Duo Tyrion in your graveyard and special summon it. You can only use the effect of Duo Tyrion once per turn. So Duo Tyrion also has a normal summon effect that just grabs you a piece. Pretty cool. Then we play 3 of the Hydrogeddon, arguably the best one of the trio, and then 3 of the Oxygeddon, who works really well with the skill once you get 4 counters. Lastly on here we have 2 Bonding DHO, which is arguably the best trap card. What this does is you can shuffle Duo Tyrion, Hydrogeddon, and Oxygeddon from your hand and or graveyard into the deck, then special summon 1 Water Dragon cluster from your hand or graveyard. Then you can banish this card from your graveyard and add a Water Dragon or Water Dragon cluster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So it's pretty okay. If this card said special summon from the deck, this deck would be tier 1. This deck would be our best deck of the format. But as it sits right now, because Bonding DHO does not really do too much outside of summoning from hand or graveyard, the deck is just kind of like rogue at best, in my opinion. Somebody can definitely prove me wrong. Like I said, if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments down below. But yes, that's what Bonding DHO does. We're playing it at 2. The reason why we're playing at 2 and not at 3 is because Duo Tyrion searches it. Bonding H2O. This card gets searched by your skill. So that's pretty good. That's very good. Not really. You gotta play another brick. But you know that's why it's in here. That's why we don't play the third copy. Another reason why we don't play the third copy of the trap. Foolish Burial, that way we can get our cluster to the graveyard, and Jar of Greed is being played at 2 in this deck. The main reason is literally because you want to get this cluster to hand, so that way you can use your trap as fast as possible. So the Jar of Greeds are literally just in here to try to turbo through your deck a little bit faster, but that's where I'm at right now with this deck. Obviously, there is definitely a lot of room for improvement, and if you have any suggestion at all, leave a comment in the comment section down below. But yeah, I'm going to give you a little bit of a showcase with this. So in my opinion, this is a pretty decent starting hand. Again, it's not one of your better ones, but it's okay, right? Because you have the combo, and that's all that really matters, right? So what the skill does here is we go ahead and we put a counter on it. We do this once per turn, probably during our main phase, definitely during our main phase. We discard our Oxygeddon from our hand. What this will do, it will allow us to add our Duo Tyrion from our hand to our deck, because it's a different attribute than that monster. We'll then use Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial will then allow us to send Water Dragon Cluster to our graveyard. This is essentially our force copy of that card. Duo Tyrion's effect will activate. Sending it to the graveyard, you can then add the Bonding DHO to your hand. And then all you do is you set 2 trap cards and pass turn. Your opponent goes into their standby phase, you go activate Jar of Greed, draw a new card. Cool. Unfortunately, it's the Water Dragon, which is again another brick for the deck. And then your opponent goes, alright, summon a bunch of monsters. You go activate Bonding DHO, special summon Water Dragon Cluster. Negate the effects of all monsters your opponent controls, and their attack becomes 0. This is where they pass. They don't have anything for that. You draw for turn, they go Nightmare Wheel. We go Tag. Alright, so we'll send that to the graveyard. We'll special summon our monsters. Pretty good. We'll then use the second effect of our skill, putting our counters to 2, and normal summon the Hydrogeddon. Yep, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what the deck does. But yeah, if you enjoy this type of content, make sure you leave a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe, and above all else, yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.